Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee with Crainer. Today, I have a special guest, Paul St. Pierre, the owner and founder of Landscape Effects Group, multiple companies in the Windsor-Essex area that Paul owns and leads. And we're going to be talking today about entrepreneurship, his journey to get into landscape design, and so much more. Paul, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Lynn.
Favorite question? I know we talked a little bit about this before. It sounds like you're not a coffee drinker. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, never had a coffee in my life. I actually can't stand the smell of coffee. Years ago, we built to one of our facilities. We built the kitchen next to my office, and it wasn't long after we had it all built, and everybody coming in the morning and having their coffees, and then multiple times during the day that I decided to move the kitchen on the furthest side of the facility, and I don't know where it comes from. It's just something I just never acquired.
You want to stay away from it.
Yeah, acquired it. Never needed it either.
So what energizes you? Most people rely on coffee to kickstart their day. How do you kickstart your day?
Yeah. I'm a great sleeper. So I call it. I have a great light switch where I'm able to turn the switch off and get to sleep quickly. So when I get up in the morning, I often have 10 or 15 things I think already boiled up in my brain and on my to-do list and things that I want to accomplish. And, I get up and I get at it right away and get right into my day. And, I think it's just the entrepreneurial spirit, the excitement of creating and improving always is what drives me the most. And I get to do that every day.
So for you, it's more the adrenaline of accomplishing that to-do list that you have that really energizes you.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. And, as the companies have grown and the position where I'm at now, where I'm able to, back away a little bit from some day-to-day business elements, I'm really able to focus on, really more probably coaching, training, mentoring. My team is what I spend the majority of my time doing.
And for those that might not know you, are you able to share Landscape Effects? People in the Windsor-Essex area are definitely familiar with it. There's a number of companies that you oversee. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, absolutely. It was a passion starting in the landscape design build side of the business. It is kind of really how it started. From there, naturally, when landscape companies start up, you look at other ancillary companies to work off of, that seasonality. We got into, we built a garden center back in the day and had a huge retail location. And then, got into the snow side of the business, which is a large piece of our business today. And after building so many landscapes, getting into the maintenance side of it, and maintaining these great properties, has brought another piece of business. And, I've had the opportunity to, go into some other verticals outside. I have a father that was was one of the partners at Rochester Place, outside of Bell River. And I had the opportunity to purchase that from them 10 years ago. It was 10 years last June, which was just a natural fit for what we're already doing.
Yeah.
So with that came a golf course, came a resort, came a marina, the grill, we call it Parkside Grill, so our restaurant there. And, from there, it's just grown into multiple other things. I get into a lot of great conversations with other entrepreneurs. We own the Drive magazine as well, Drive Studio, which is more of the marketing side of the publication. And it's just been great relationships all the way across to most recently, owning and buying Melvin Orr Trucking on Manning Road.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And converting that to the Eltec Supply Center.
Yep.
So now we're supplying, all homeowners, not just focusing on just our design build side of the business.
And how did this all start for you? Did you enter landscape design, or were you working for a company at the time and then made this transition? How did you really kickstart your journey into entrepreneurship?
Yeah, again, back to Rochester Place, my dad being one of the partners. It was our Saturday from a very young age, joining my dad and going to Rochester Place, working there. I've never worked for anybody else but my father and myself.
Mhm.
And, so that kind of really brought the outdoors piece, I think, to it, the turf side of it, understanding that business. A lot of construction came, with the growth of Rochester Place, which when I started, into the design build side, my dad was a home builder and land developer, and started in the back of a hatchback Chevette. And for those that are listening that might know what that is, that's how I
I don't think
started.
I've ever seen one.
No. You'd have to Google that, Lyndon. You're a little young, but yeah, and it really, I, did our home, our personal home, where I lived with my parents, and then, did a neighbor, and just naturally grew it right out of a subdivision in Bell River.
Okay, and like, was this something you learned in school, or is it just you?
Zero schooling. I did go to university. I went to Laurentian University in Sudbury.
Yep.
And HK graduate. And I had a mother, school teacher, very on the education track. A lot of my aunts and uncles are on that track. An entrepreneurial father. So the one of the hardest moments of my career would have been, going there after, fourth year university and being accepted to teachers college. My mom would have loved that. And going the day before leaving, and
you're originally going to go into teachers college.
I was accepted. We were leaving the next day, and I had the opportunity to take on a couple projects that fall. And my mom asked me, "What are you going to do the other 6 months a year?" That's always been the push pull of both parents. But
what made you not want to pursue teachers college and jump right into building your business?
It probably was just more my sister is now retired as well, and like I said, a lot of my aunts and uncles, just really being constrained probably on a curriculum. Not being able to. I would have wanted to probably. I would have graduated IHK. Probably would have became a phys ed teacher. But I would have wanted to change curriculum. I would have wanted to bring in other elements.
Bring your own flair to it.
Bring my own flair, and and being tied back or not being able to get that creative side out. Which is what I've been able to do. Over the years in my businesses.
And so throughout your journey to now, was there a mentor in your life, multiple mentors that you looked up to on the business side? Obviously, your father would be one of those people.
Absolutely. Yeah. Dad definitely is one. I call them my forefathers at Rochester Place. My dad had other partners, but my uncle's one of them, and two other partners. So the four of them, from a very young age, going there. And I always say young. We're following my dad, at 5, 6 years old. Taking our naps in his pickup truck, and then going out on this property and trying to find them. But in business, yes, lots of mentors. I've had business coaches for the last 20 years, and still working closely with, some great people. I'm one in industry, really. I'm involved in a lot of, pieces of the business. So I always search out to find the best person in any of the industries. No matter if it's the Drive magazine or if it's restaurant business or if it's a supply center, design build, find the best people, in the world. I've got great relationships with a lot of people in all the industries, and always search out to find the best person to help us. I enjoy learning, but I always have wanted to fast track it. If it's 0 to 5 years or 0 to 10 years, I want to cut that back to 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
And that's proven to work really well for us. So in every piece of the business, I have definitely a mentor in every single piece of the business, for sure.
And going back to that fast tracking curriculum or whatever you're trying to accomplish, do you think that's important as an entrepreneur?
I mean,
is it almost good to have that? I would consider myself impatient. Is it good to have that personality trait as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I mean, I think I mean, anyone in business, we've all, it's our failures that have, brought on most growth.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's the learning curve for me, that I've always wanted, to accelerate. We're still going to have the school hard knocks going to hit us and knock us, on our butts. But for me, it's definitely more, getting up to speed quickly, having the information readily available. In construction more for me, I wanted to always protect, the integrity of a project, and always wanted to build things properly. I didn't want to take a gamble on trying an error, trial and error, any parts of any type of project. So, I think having that protection, from a construction integrity standpoint is huge. But it's also the financial side, it is something I've always searched out, to be able to have, be able to build out the budget, be able to understand the budget, be able to understand what break even to any piece of business is. So that correlation, I just got back from Toronto. I was in Toronto, Tuesday, Wednesday, and, I had a great meeting with a gentleman that I've been following him on Instagram, and he does amazing work, and he's from the GTA. And I had drinks with him on Tuesday at 4 p.m. And it was equally, he follows us, we follow him, so it's a mutual. He's doing great things in a piece of business that we're needing some help, and vice versa. So just
education's huge for you.
Constant. Yes, and I try much as possible, even at where I'm at, and as busy as I can be, to help anybody in industry, and give back as much as I can.
And for you starting out, what was your biggest challenge? If you could reflect back, however long it's been for you.
The financial component, understanding. I can tell you that, knowing the difference between an accounts receivable and payable took me some years. And I know that's pretty, 101 to business. And, but I for a long time had to think of each payable, receivable. So my receiving it, it was, and that's crazy to be able to say that today.
Yeah.
That for a long time, because, I worked always, on my business, and, flipping that switch and working, in my business, on my business,
having that mix,
and having that mix was always a challenge. And I was always do it first. We'll worry about the dollars later. That's when I call the school hard knocks.
Yeah, commit and figure it out later.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
And now I guess, where would you say you excel as an entrepreneur? Because we talked about the challenge, and you mentioned being financed when you first started. What allowed you to become so successful?
Constant improvement. Just anything I look at, anything I view. Doesn't matter if I walk into someone's backyard, or if I'm out dining somewhere, having dinner, or if I'm at any of our facilities, looking at any other opportunities. I'm always looking at it in a current state of what it is today. Most definitely looking at that, but I'm always, what could it be? What could it be transformed to? What could happen if we, put some resources at it, put a team member at it, put some dollars to it. So that seeking, and that doesn't matter even on some of our businesses that are successful. It's always constant improvement, and never ever embracing the status quo is all over my office. Refusing to be average is in my office, but just that quest to always improving, no matter what state any of the businesses are in. And I search that out every single day.
So is that constant improvement what's fulfilling to you as a business owner?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's again what the state was yesterday, what the state was a year ago, what it is today, and what can it be tomorrow. That's
what fuels you. That's what drives.
Yeah, pushing the boundaries. When we got into the golf business, one of our taglines, redefining, game enjoyment. Golf can be stuffy, and I'm not a stuffy person. So just and in breaking some of the boundaries on some of these things, and some of the stereotypes that apply. And golf was one. Parkside Grill and what we did there. What we had done to the resort. To the point where we had to build our own tiny homes and build our own units and get into that piece of the business.
And they're stunning. They're stunning homes.
Thank you. Because I didn't like what was in the marketplace. I didn't like what we could purchase and what we could, bring forward to clients. And one, aesthetically, I didn't like the look of what, Rochester Place Resort would look like just with, what's in the market. So that's the constant pursuit of always improving.
And so all the companies you oversee, is there one that's the most enjoyable for you, or was your favorite project to kickstart?
Yeah, I mean, design build for sure is my go-to always. But that's the creative side.
Yeah,
that's being able to walk in someone's backyard, close your eyes, you see it finished, and see it completely in 3D. But fortunately, I've been able to, in all the other businesses, when we bought Melvin Orr Trucking and taking it to the state it was to, what it is today. So that's that refurbishment of, I call it, taking it, bouncing it off the ground, off the walls, bringing it into, a new state, and and have a good plan of what to do. So that continuous invention element, probably, a big piece of what I do. So now I've not only been able to do default to design building that, now I do that into, every piece of the businesses.
And this must take a great team to run all these companies. How many people are you working with on a day-to-day that are?
I have we're very flat org chart, so that's something that I've managed to keep, good or bad. I do talk to some people, when I tell them I have 17 people that report to me directly. But that's been very intentional. You're absolutely right. None of this is possible without a great team. And, that's something that I learned long ago, in getting the right team members, in the right spots. And, that we've been able to build an incredible team that allows me then to continue, my quest of coaching, training, mentoring. Yeah.
Now, do you find it tough finding the right people? And how do you do that?
It's constant. It is constant. I'm forever, everything I'm doing when I'm building relationships, meeting people, I'm forever asking, what do you do? What are you doing? Are you happy doing what you're doing? Big thing with us at Landscape Effects is that it's the, being happy, and bringing happiness to the workplace. And I go as far as tell people, hopefully your workplace might even bring happiness to the other parts of your life, vice versa, to how people think. That's a really big piece for me. And I'm always on the search. I'm always hiring. We've got a new hiring video that's coming out here in the next week or two. And it's a forever quest of bringing great people in. I always say we've got so many businesses. There's so many things going on. Yep. Tell me what you do. Tell me what you love. Probably a spot for you.
Awesome. Well, if anyone's watching, make sure to hit up Paul and have a good first impression for sure. Two final questions, and I'll let you off the hook here because I know you're very busy and I appreciate your time. What would be your advice to someone looking to be in your shoes?
I think it all revolves to being passionate first and foremost. If you find something that you really, really want to do, just work through the business plan, work through it in your thoughts. I'm not a big planning person, so I'm not, I've done maybe one business plan, on paper, in my life. So, I think find your passion would be the first thing. And, another element would be just don't overthink it. I just find so many people that I talk to, they're overthinking it. They're overcomplicating it. Finding that balance of just put your head down and just go do it.
Yeah.
Come up with your plans, come up with your grand ideas, take 3, execute on those 3, put your head down, go do it. I'm much more impressed today of people that do it and are doers than are talkers.
And plan way too much, and 3, 4, 5 months pass, nothing's done.
That's right. 4 years in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
So that's just, something that I subscribe to. I'm a early morning person. That's when I do all.
You said 4 a.m.
Yeah, I'm anywhere between 4 and 4:15 usually. I'm
There's the 5 a.m. club, and now you stepped it up a notch.
Yeah, there's a couple of us that are part of that 4 a.m. Yes,
that's awesome. And Paul, my final question for you: what's in the pipeline? What's next? What's some exciting stuff coming up that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, we've got some exciting things that we're looking at right now. And a lot of it is really internal. It's fine tuning some of the things we're already doing. In the design build side, we do a lot of great things, and there's some things we need to shore up. So definitely, in that piece of business, I think for me, where I'm at today is more, I'm really looking forward to hearing what my team wants to create, what they want to do. I've accomplished a lot of great things, a lot of my own personal goals.
Mm-hmm.
So now there's a lot more collaboration happening, from that approach. I'm starting to explain to them, I brought the company, we brought the company, not just me, but a whole team brought the company where we're at today, but where can we go? Where do we go? On a larger scale, some land development for sure is in the pipeline. We're going to have some great projects coming up that'll be all Landscape Effects branded, Red Tree branded, and so those are things that I'll be focusing a lot of my time on in the next year or so.
I'm excited for what's to come. I always see that red tree everywhere, so it's really inspiring, and thank you for your insights today. Those watching, visit coffeewithcrainer.com. You can rewatch this episode or watch all 130 that we have on there with local leaders in the Windsor-Essex area.